In 1984, Tina Turner released the hit song, What's Love Got to Do with It? Interesting question with a short answer. Everything. Love and the intimacy usually inherent in it impacts our quality of life. But there are many types of love. We don't all love the same, and we don't all express our love the same way. And there are various types of loving relationships. This video will focus on the research reported by Cornell University's Professor Robert J. Sternberg, the triangular theory of love, his love as a story theory, and we will end with his duplex theory of love. Sternberg first proposed the triangular theory of love in 1986. This theory starts by identifying three dimensions of loving relationships: intimacy, passion, and commitment. Sternberg later adjusted the dimension of commitment to include decision. Because I've used a heart as a visual image of this triangle, I've placed the dimensions in a slightly different order than Sternberg did. His model places intimacy at the top. Remember that these are dimensions, meaning your relationship could have no passion to a lot of passion, and anywhere in between. Further, the three dimensions can interact with each other. For example, an increase in intimacy can result in increased passion or commitment. Once you understand what these dimensions are and how your various loving relationships score on each dimension, you can then categorize your relationships. Think of the three dimensions a little bit like the X, Y, and Z axis on a three-dimensional chart or matrix. In this visual model, I've placed intimacy on the X-axis, commitment on the Y-axis, and passion on the Z-axis. With this viewpoint, you should be able to see that you can plot all three components to show the relationships between them. We'll start with intimacy, which involves the feelings of being connected, close, and bonded. This dimension embodies trust, caring, honesty and transparency, supportiveness, being understanding, and open. We often achieve intimacy through self-disclosure, sharing our feelings and emotions and allowing others to share theirs with us. Passion. Well, think romance with a capital R. This is what drives us to be romantic. We are physically attracted to someone, excited and aroused, enjoy a sexual relationship, and long to be with that person. Decision or commitment is the intent to stay with that person and being committed to the relationship. It involves being loyal and devoted, putting the other's needs above your own, and needing each other. This could be short-term, you are committed for the moment, but is more often viewed as long-term commitment, the intention to maintain that relationship. Notice that I've referenced both the person and the relationship, because that could vary. Sternberg believes that you can decide to commit yourself to the person, but not the relationship. You can also commit to the relationship, but not be in love with the person. Of course, there are blends of these dimensions. Based upon this theory, you can create 8 different components of love. Well, I'm going to discuss these as if they are all binary states. Either you have intimacy in your relationship or you don't. Remember that these are dimensions. You can have none, some, or a lot. Obviously, relationships exist that have none of these components. No intimacy, no passion, no commitment. If you accept that to be love, there has to be at least some intimacy, some passion, or some commitment, then the absence of any of these is non-love. So this is not one of the 8 types of love, because there is no love. We'll start with the first 3 one-dimensional types of love. If you have intimacy only, but no passion or commitment in your relationship, Sternberg calls that liking. You enjoy being around each other, share of yourself, but are not romantically involved or committed to the relationship. If your relationship is strong in passion, but doesn't include intimacy or commitment, you are experiencing infatuated love. You're enjoying the excitement and our sexual passion, but that's about it. If you have made the decision to commit to the relationship without intimacy and passion, you would be experiencing empty love. Think of how many arranged marriages may start out this way, or parents who stay together for the sake of the children or financial reasons, but really don't enjoy each other. Or those who stay in relationships only because they believe that a promise is a promise. Now let's go to the blends. If your relationship is high in intimacy and passion but lacking commitment, you are experiencing romantic love. There is more to your relationship than just sexual excitement. You enjoy sharing each other's company, thoughts, and feelings, but you really aren't committed to the relationship or the person. A combination of intimacy and commitment is companionate love, sometimes called compassionate love. You enjoy each other's company and you are committed to the relationship, but there really is no romantic passion or sexual excitement. When you blend passion and commitment without intimacy, you get fatuous love. Fatuous is defined as foolish or inane or unreal. Using this definition, you think you are in love because you have the passion and are committed to the relationship and or the person, but if there is no intimacy, it's all an illusion. And the love that most of us are searching for includes all of these elements: intimacy, passion, and commitment, or consummate love, sometimes called complete love. I've shown this in a chart, but it might be helpful to look at it as Sternberg pictured it, a triangle with consummate love in the middle, as it is composed of all of the elements: intimacy, passion, and commitment. Sternberg also addressed the geometry of what he called the love triangle as dependent on the amount and balance of love. The greater the amount of love, the greater the area or size of the triangle. And if there are differences in balance, for example, greater intimacy and limited passion, the shape of the triangle will differ. But truly balanced love with equal amounts of each component would result in an equilateral triangle. And of course, one person in the relationship may diagram their love one way, while the other diagrams it differently. As a quick follow-up, Sternberg proposed a new theory in 1994, which views love as a story. The theory of love as a story acknowledges that we learn about love through the stories we are exposed to. We watch how others navigate loving relationships as we are exposed to people in real or fictional life, in person, on television or in the movies, or in written material. We also create our own stories based upon our own experiences. We then judge our existing relationships and choose to initiate, maintain, and terminate our loving relationships based on the standards we have created based on these stories. Way back in 1985, when I did my master's thesis on the impact of Harlequin romance novels on perceptions of love and courtship, 1 out of every 10 paperback books sold was a Harlequin romance novel. The most recent figures at the time of this recording come from the Romance Writers of America, which estimate that romance novel share of the U.S. fiction market is 34%. That means that 1 out of every 3 fiction books sold are telling love stories. While the Numbers website ranked romantic comedies as number 7 in market share for the movie industry, those are just those films marketed as romantic comedy, not including those other genres that fold in romance as part of the subplot. Sternberg acknowledges that because his research has been conducted in the United States, there is likely some cultural bias in the themes that he and his colleagues have found in these love stories. The list of the 26 most common themes posted on his website is too long to get into here. Suffice it to know that, with this plethora of love story themes, you and those you will come in contact with will likely have both similar and different stories of what love should look like. In 2006, Sternberg merged the two theories into a single theory, named the Duplex theory of love, explaining that the love triangles identified in the triangular theory of love develop because of the love stories we are exposed to and create. Regardless of the theory, love definitely has a lot to do with our quality of life. Some claim that it is the reason for life. Civil rights leader Mahatma Gandhi was quoted as saying, "Where there is love, there is life," implying that without love, there is no life. So pay attention to your love and how you communicate it, and you will take care of your life.